what we are trying to do is offer great returns to our investors by making them part of the development effort itself. So that's how we are positioned very differently from all other blockchain platforms that are out there.
Hey guys, we're here at the Y Texas Summit, an economic development conference for the state of Texas. I'm here with my friend Owais Zaidi, who is the co-founder of RPAL and the CEO of AstroTech. Owais, you guys are making a big splash here in Texas with this work, live, play concept. Describe it a little bit more for us.
So, Lee, thank you for having me over. It's a pleasure. So, the idea is that the newer generation, the people, they don't want to commute a lot and they want to be able to work and enjoy their life. So, it's all about quality of life. So, the idea is to switch from general purpose housing and traveling an hour or 2 hours for work. We bring the entertainment, the workspace, and your living quarters in the same development. It improves your quality of life, saves you a lot of time and money, and you can enjoy greater time with your friends and your family.
Now, you guys are pursuing a unique funding mechanism for this. You're achieving visibility for international investors through blockchain. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So the idea was to build a tokenization platform and reach out to international investors primarily. And the idea is basically to develop our own properties and then offer those incentives to the investors abroad. So basically, if you look at the property real estate development, the best returns are made upfront by the property developers and the direct investors at that point. And if you tokenize a property that's already built, yes, it will give you some rental yields and upside, but the bulk or the juice of the deal has already been absorbed by somebody else. So what we are trying to do is offer great returns to our investors by making them part of the development effort itself. So that's how we are positioned very differently from all other blockchain platforms that are out there.
Yeah, I like the expression the juice is already squeezed out.
Absolutely.
And so when you're investing with something like Fundrise,
Yeah.
you're really already paying a premium relative to what an early investor would have paid for that investment. Is that right?
Yeah, so basically at Tarpol, the idea is very simple that you come in early, you come in at the start, and you be part of the development. There, we're building all the protections and security for our investors, and we're going to be fully compliant with all the regulations as per SEC. But yes, absolutely, people come in early and they get the maximum benefit of a deal. So why stick to a 8% annual yield when you can make 20-30% on your investment annualized basis?
It's incredible. Now, talk a little bit about the attractiveness of this for international investors.
So, US dollar is the reserve currency of the world, right? It's the safe haven, but historically the returns have been very low. So, if you were looking for great returns, you had to go out and you had to look for returns in emerging markets where you're exposed to huge currency fluctuations. And in the past, I think 24 months in the commodity super cycle, we've seen that happen. That investors have gotten burned. They may have made 35% on a yield on an investment, but they may have lost 70-80%, sometimes 150% on the currency loss. So this is what we're trying to say. Hey, why not make those amazing returns in the safest currency in the world, which is the US dollar?
That makes sense. So we're hopeful that the dollar will remain the world reserve currency for decades to come. We'll see. There's been some profligate spending recently in DC that has called that into question.
Well, at the end of the day, being an international investor myself, I would say that US still has that attraction as the intellectual powerhouse, right? At the end of the day, the greatest productivity comes from creativity, and US still is the primary destination for innovators, for entrepreneurs, for creators. So hopefully that will drive, the strength in the currency over the longer term.
Tell me a little bit about some of y'all's other blockchain business lines. As far as we just met with Commissioner Dimerson around the vocational rehab. How are we going to see blockchain influence the public sector?
See, I think the greatest value of blockchain, apart from investors, is for the government sector. Avanza holds over a 90% market share across GCC, and we have worked with governments, we have worked with customs,
You
with
might have to tell the audience GCC.
Okay, GCC is Gulf Cooperation Council. That's your what you call the Middle East, the petrodollar economies.
UAE.
UAE, Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, all these markets, right? So, we we have over a 90% market share, and we've been able to work with the governments, and we've been able to offer the value. Have massive savings on cost, the quality of service they give to the citizens, and just overall efficiency. So one of our projects allows tracking of cross-border shipments. Like Dubai is a major hub for logistics, their shipments going out, their returns coming back in. So our platforms allows them to track the returns. So the companies, the e-commerce players, they're not double taxed once going out, once coming back in. So it just increases the profitability, the operating efficiency. It may lower the revenues in the short term, but the government there is visionary enough to realize that over the time they have been able to enhance the economic activity and make these players more profitable, which in turns drive the GDP higher. And then there are a lot of citizen services, the land records. I mean, you name it. Now they've created VARA, which is a virtual asset regulatory authority. So a lot of pain in tokenization on creating digital assets is going to go away out of those economies, and hopefully, I think US, with the size of its economy, once it puts those kind of regulations, I think the sky's the limit.
Mm.
This is alone is multi-trillion-dollar market.
Mm. Yeah, we're a little bit behind, I would say, in that particular area. But you're right, we are sort of the sleeping giant. Once we get woken up, it's going to be a large economic shift. Um, well, Owais, you guys are going to be at the summit in November. Talk a little bit about the panel that one of your colleagues,
Yeah.
Wakas, is going to be speaking on.
So yeah, I think we're very excited to sponsor and be part of the blockchain summit. I think Vakas is definitely one of the foremost authorities on blockchain himself, and he will be joined by some of his colleagues from the industry. We're hoping to get a Microsoft representative. There's somebody coming from the Polygon side, and there's one more gentleman I'm forgetting right now. But I think especially, I think there's a particular session about how governments can leverage blockchain and take advantage of that. I think there's a lot of value that can be added. We're talking to Commissioner. Sorry, I'm forgetting.
Dimerson.
Commissioner Dimerson earlier. I think he's very excited about how we can add more transparency, more efficiency for the vocational rehab program. I think it will allow them to track where the money is going and how effective it is, and will completely cover the value chain from the money coming into the system to the partners providing training, for companies hiring, employing, for the participants of the program. I think it will enhance a lot of quality of life for these people, but also allow people like the commissioner himself to understand how much value each dollar that is being spent is driving for the state, for the country.
Wonderful. Well, Owais, we look forward to having you at the summit. Thanks for the conversation today.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. I'm really excited to be part of this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right.